highlights from round 11 of the GB4 Championship, partnered by the BRDC. Thomas Ingram Hill from the front row of the grid, able to take over the race lead from Fred Green into the opening corner. There was plenty of side-by-side in and behind it, but the drivers that made contact at the opening part of the weekend were able to get through nice and clean, as Fred Green would have to settle for second. Torrin Byrne was also one that was into the mix outside of the top 10. We had plenty of fights. One of the pace performance cars going off the road. McLean really struggling to find it. John O'Donnell as well in the mix there. We've got the likes of Dayton Coulthard towards the back end of the top 10, who was in and around the likes of Matan Achitov, and of course his old teammate Enzo Holman. So big look to the inside from Jordan Martin, trying to get down the inside of Romeo Bouquet, who has been feeling pressure all the way through the weekend. Big moves to the outside. Dimitri Nolan feeling the pressure from John O'Donnell. Meanwhile, the two Hill Speeds were having a fight towards the back end of the top 10. Enzo Holman was starting to struggle for speed. The 99 of Willis was able to get through. And meanwhile, at the front of the field, it was a dominant performance from Thomas Ingram Hill, running away from Fred Green to take his first victory in GB4.
Thomas, congratulations, your first win in the GB4 Championship. How does that feel?
Yeah, incredible. So long. A bit of a shame yesterday and earlier this year when we had it taken away, and finally did. I'm so happy. All the hard work, it's finally paid off. I think we've had the pace at times, but being unable to extract it all.
Looking forward to the race later, reverse grid one?
Yeah, I need to figure out how I'm going to go about it, because obviously I'm very keen to move forward and overtake my rivals, but also I need to finish the race, because that's been my weak point so far. So yeah, we'll see how we go.
We did say this yesterday, you can't get off the podium at the moment.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been okay. Like, as I said, the progress, we've come a long way. A little bit of things to improve, like that race. I didn't want to push too much because, I felt I didn't have overall grip. Track was not there either, so kind of affected the car balance. And, myself, there's some stuff to improve on. So I didn't want to push too hard, risk it, do anything silly, and just try to bag points, to be honest. That's all we can really do.
Welcome everyone to Silverstone for round 12 of the GB4 Championship. This the final race of the weekend here at Silverstone, and the race where we take the top 12 from qualifying and we flip them round, and that leaves Connor Willis starting on pole position, yet to take his first podium. I'm Chris McCarthy, Piers Pryor alongside me. Piers, a real race of opportunity as we've been calling it throughout the weekend. Connor's got a great chance here, hasn't he, to go and get a podium?
Yeah, Connor Willis got the reverse grid, or partially reverse grid pole position, so looking forward to a bit of clear track down towards turn when he's not had that at any point this weekend so far. Reminder, and we say it a lot, but bumper record equaling 29 cars on the grid, so plenty of racing action coming our way this one. We've got a really interesting front group, haven't we? We've got Horman, who struggled for pace but we know is strong. Then we've got Emilio Valentino Del Grosso, and then also Josh McLean, who's taken strong results. It's been a great racing so far. We saw good racing from that man there, Dayton Coulthard, who just walked past with Enzo Holman. He's going to be looking to push forward. I think it's really shaping up for a really good, strong end to the weekend. We had a brilliant GB3 race, so once you've watched GB4, if you haven't watched GB3, go back and watch that. Yeah. If that's anything to go by, this is going to be great. Yeah,
we won't ruin the result for you there. Also, we saw the highlights from the race earlier, didn't we? Thomas Ingram Hill taking his first win, and something he felt he'd been getting criticism throughout the season. For him, he felt that was a real bounce back and a real fight back to all of that. So a real great result for him.
I think that's a real stamp of yes, I can do this from Tom Ingram Hill. He got pole for race 1, didn't get pole for race 2, that was Fred Green, but great start away from the line, which is what Tom's been struggling with a little bit. I was chatting to Mike Epps, his driver coach, said starts have been a bit of a weakness of his, but to have a good start, lead away, having got your first pole position in the previous race, dominate the race and take a win, that will be a real confidence boost for Tom Ingram Hill, and clearly got great pace. He pulled the gap in that one. We know he can overtake. He's been in the mid-pack for most of his GB4 career, got closer and closer to the front, so he could be one to look out for in this one as well.
Absolutely, let's see what he can do. You mentioned Fred Green there. He's going to be starting alongside Tom Ingram Hill on row 6. A mixed weekend for him so far, 23rd and 2nd. So got to stay out of trouble, hasn't he, in this race? I think that's one thing for the drivers in the position of Fred Green, but at the same time, they get points for making positions. Yeah,
Fred Green could do with a really solid result. Low risk in this one, to be honest, because he's arguably been one of the fastest, if not the fastest driver at a lot of the points this season. Double win here, double pole position here when we started the season. And then things just haven't quite gone his way. We saw the issues with qualifying and track limits at Donington Park, which affected Fred Green, and then he was taken out from being out of position, and that's led him to be in a position where he came into this weekend, or he currently came into this morning, 4th in the championship, which is lower, I would argue, than he potentially should have been based on pure pace. But a championship isn't built on pace, it's built on getting results, and ultimately that's what pays. So he's already had a good result this morning. He couldn't have helped, I say he couldn't have helped, had basically a non-score in race 1 due to contact with Tom Ingram Hill. This race he just needs to rely on his pace, let the race come to him, and I think then take some points away and then start to build the second half of the season from there.
Talked about getting good results there. Someone who's been doing that and can't stop doing that is Luke Hilton. 5 podiums in a row for him now, isn't it? I mean, he'll have a bit of a task to keep that going because he's going to be down in 10th place, but so much confidence with him at the moment.
So much podium. A driver that's come into a second season, Luke Hilton, changed team with Nights competitions with ADM, looking really strong. And as we said, results are the things that count. And even though he hasn't been the fastest in every race, he's been there or thereabouts, which is hugely important.
Tension really getting up. We'll take a breather here for just a second. Let's hear from a driver starting a little bit further down the field, Yasser Iskand.
Yasser, first time we've spoken. First of all, how's things going in the season so far? Sum it up for us.
It's going good so far. It's been a great learning experience, and been some ups and downs, and yeah.
And you've come a long way from your home country to come and race in GB4. Why have you joined us? What's your plan with the championship? What's your plan going forward?
Plan is learn as much as I could, hopefully progress as much as I could, and yeah.
I can tell you're enjoying things behind the wheel. That's the reason you do it. I can tell you love racing. Tell us about the year in terms of racing. Has it been above expectation? What have you been focusing on?
Yeah, the year's been good so far. Something that I did not expect was Donington. Very good pole. Sadly couldn't finish with the podium, but P7, and yeah, I'll take it.
What's your outlook? What are you concentrating on to get the most out of it?
Hopefully not get pushed off, but hopefully just gain some positions and keep pushing forward.
Amazing. Yasser, great to have you in the championship. Great to catch up with you finally from myself, and we'll see how you get on for Fox Motorsport.
Thank you.
Good to hear from Yasser Iskand, our first time catching up with Yasser this season. One of the many rookies in the field. It's been hard to separate them because the rookies have been performing so well. One of them has been Connor Grant, got his first podium in race 1, and quite an emotional podium for the Irishman. Was on the podium with fellow Irish driver O'Grady as well. We'll be looking to try and bounce back in this. Do you think a race without... he's had 1 race on his tyres where other drivers have had 2. Do you think that could play into his hands a little bit in this race, or not so much?
I mean, he knows he's got the pace. He was there in race 1. Disappointed, I imagine, to take home another haul of points in race 2. We saw him smoking on the way to the grid. Couldn't take I say he was smoking. His car was smoking. He wasn't. He's not old enough, of course. Yeah. And most of the drivers don't tend to do that away from the seat. But he's Hill speed. Douglas team have done a great job to go and get that car ready for this race. We're going to take a step forward as the safety car is behind us. Guys. But yeah, looking forward to seeing how he goes in this one.
Yeah, well, let's see how a lap goes around this circuit, shall we? And go on board around Silverstone at GB4.
Let's ride on board the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit with GB4 Championships. Thomas Ingram Hill for Fortec Motorsport. His inaugural pole position in the GB4 Championship. Worked so hard. We went flying through Copse Corner at turn 1. Now we head to Maggots and Beckett's, a truly thrilling section of corners here at Silverstone. A lift through Maggots, stay right to open up Beckett's on the left-hander. Use a bit of curb to get ourselves left to open up Chapel, and the exit onto the Hanger Straight is crucial for both lap time and overtaking and defence in the races. We head flat out under the bridge as we head down the Hanger Straight, 780 metres completely flat out in a straight line as we head up towards Stowe. Braking at the curb on the left-hand side, down just a gear or 2, roll as much minimum speed through the middle as you can, get to the curb and then watch out for the track limits on the exit. Easy to run wide there as the circuit falls away, and then we brake heavily down towards Vale. Vale is the left, choose a bit of curb on the left-hand side to open up the right-hander of Club. Ideally we're going to go flat out through Club Corner to give us the best run and high speed onto the Hamilton Straight, past the wing and the place where the Formula 1 starts their lap, but we start the lap halfway around. We're going to try and go flat out through Abbey Corner, not quite flat out with the wind conditions as they are today, then flat out through Farmers, just setting you up for the braking zone of Village. Stay left as long as you can before we then nip the apex. Easy to run wide there, but we go back to the right hand side to the loop. Overtaking opportunity in the races and critical for lap time. Get the traction on, but don't run too wide on the exit. The car will bottom out and run off the circuit. We're now flat out once again as we head down the Wellington Straight. This is the point at which you're looking as mirrors in the race to see if the drivers behind are able to mount a challenge. We head over to the right hand side, use the curve to open up the entry of Brooklands. Brooklands is all about minimum speed and positioning for the last proper corner on the circuit, the double apex hander of Luffield. We hit the first apex, go into the middle of the circuit, try and get back to the second, but it doesn't matter if we don't, because as long as we get good traction, we've got a good run through the flat out corner of Woodcote and a lap of the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit.
And there is a lap of the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit in GP4. Let's have a little look at the two former teammates, Enzo Hallman and Dayton Coulthard, because I saw Piers prior having a chat with them earlier in the race hub. I'm really keen to hear what they had to say. Let's go to that now.
I'm here in the race hub, which is the place where everyone can chill out, enjoy their lunch, enjoy their time at the GB3 and 4 race weekends. And you might notice I've got two drivers. Last year, friends, teammates at Douglas Motorsport. This year, foes, and even foes on circuit as well. It seems like every time I watch a GB4 race, you two are absolutely going at it. But we'll talk about race 2 to start with. Enzo, unfortunately, it looked like you didn't quite have the pace you wanted in that one.
No, I think we're struggling a bit this weekend. Don't really know why, but just don't feel right in the car. So, yeah, really struggling with pace and trying my best to keep my position, but yeah, it's hard.
And you were fighting very hard with this man here. You guys were battling. That looked like quite a good, fun fight, Dayton.
It's always fun with Enzo. Enzo's not a foe. He's a great friend. I think it's what I love about Enzo is that whenever we race, it's always respectful, clean racing. I don't think we've ever had contact with each other.
Yet.
Let's not jinx it, but no, it's good fun.
Well, I sat between you just in case there was fisticuffs, but it sounds like we're all still friends here. Let's look ahead to race 3. You guys aren't far apart either, again, I don't think. So what can we expect?
Yeah, we'll try to figure something out and just try to get the pace back. I mean, in the practice sessions, we were putting in purple sectors, and after qualifying now, it's just been going downhill. So I don't know really what to do, but we'll try our best to find some pace and hopefully get on the top step.
Do you have an idea of what you can do to get back to that pace you had at the start of the weekend?
Yeah, we'll try to change something with the car, but yeah, it's hard.
Can't tell me more than that. It's all under wraps.
All under wraps, yeah.
And then race 3 coming up. We know that it's always a fun one with the partial reverse grid, bonus points for every position you make. What's your hopes? What's your outlook into that one?
Get as many bonus points as possible. There's, the weekend was, made a lot harder with qualifying, so it's just about trying to secure as much points as we can and try and keep the championship's hopes somewhere there, we'll say.
And keep the friendly rivalry going, and hopefully no foes. I saw you when you guys came in, high five. Hopefully no more impacts going forward. Anyway, thank you so much for taking time to chat to us. Great to have you guys providing us some great entertainment on circuit, and we'll keep an eye on both of you this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was good fun there, Piers. Good to catch up with Enzo and Dayton there. Some great rivalries in GB4, but also drivers who've got a lot of respect for each other and enjoy their time off the circuit.
Absolutely. It's sometimes an overlooked part of the GB4 paddock is the fact that these drivers, they're building a career together. They're young drivers, often only in their teens, and they're learning a lot about their racing and their racecraft and building a career, but they're also having a lot of fun away from the circuit, building friendships as well, and then that friendship can be left on one side on circuit. They can race hard respectfully, but then they can come off and have a good time together. You saw they were well, I sat between them, made the joke that I was keeping them apart, but when they both walked into the race hub together, big high five, big hug, we're like, yeah. And Enzo jokingly said to Dayton, oh, sorry, I was holding you up in that one, mate. But, they race hard on circuit, but these drivers all good fun off the circuit as well. And as I mentioned just earlier on in this show, the GB3 race was really, really good, side-by-side action, respectful, space given, something we see a lot in GB4 as well, hoping for a race much like that.
And it may not have been seen on camera, but Deegan Fairclough came out his car and went straight over as well to congratulate a driver. Let's just say that. Right, it looks like we're getting ready to go racing here, Piers. Cars going off in the background. Final thoughts ahead of this one.
Final thoughts. Not much to say. Reverse grid race. Enjoy it.
Have a good one. I think that's enough from us down here. You can hear the cars firing off in the background. It's time to go racing for the final time this weekend at the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. Let's go up to the commentary box and join Lewis McGlade.
Championship, partnered by the BRDC, in a title race that still remains tight as we head into that second half. Alex O'Grady holds on to the top of the championship, but can he complete the weekend in that position? Luke Hilton and Fred Green will be desperate to at least close up. One final look at the circuit, iconic as it is, through Maggots, Becketts and Chapel, down the hanger straight into Stowe, out onto what is effectively the start of the Grand Prix in the British Grand Prix, of course, on the Hamilton Straight, as we rise up through Abbey and then through the Village Loop section. That backstretch down on the Wellington Straight into Brooklands and Luffield. The start-finish straight takes us around the 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit. A little bit of undulation in the middle of the track. They drop downhill into Maggots, Becketts and Chapel, where we've seen plenty of 2, maybe even a little bit of 3 wide as well. The drivers find themselves in position. Fingers crossed that Connor Grant's car is repaired from earlier. Obviously the dramas that he had, dropping us down to just 27 cars actually on the race start in the previous one. Obviously Holly Mile also didn't take to the race start either. I'll get ready to begin their formation lap, and already we start to look at the drivers that could contend for this victory. It is not an easy one to pick apart. Obviously for Thomas Ingram Hill, for Fred Green, they've been the pace setters this weekend, with both of them taking pole positions. But could the likes of Enzo Hallman use this to maybe find that victory? Although pace has been a bit of a struggle for the Swedish driver this weekend. In the commentary booth, myself, Lewis McGlade, alongside me is Piers Pryor, and this perfect weekend for racing is set to come to a close.
Perfect weekend of racing. The weather has been pretty much bang on, hasn't it? It's been mild but not too hot, and there's barely a breath of air on the circuit there. Not much wind, which is ideal for these single-seater Slicks and Wings GB4 cars. We're moments away now from the final race of the weekend. The final time we're going to be at Silverstone until next year.
Which is always sad, because we love our visits to Silverstone here in the GB4 Championship. We've been coming here twice a year for the last 4 years, and again we'll be waiting a little longer for our run around Silverstone next year. We'll have to wait and see what the calendar's going to be and where we end up, but formation lap begins, and we can now focus on this second half of the season as some more smoke is pumping up in the air. That's not Connor Grant's car.
No, it's a lock-up, don't worry. Don't worry. It's drivers weaving hard and getting some temperature in their brakes and tyres.
I like the drama, Piers. I like the drama. You've got to instigate it somehow. Connor Willis, though, will be starting this one from the reverse grid pole in an all-hill speed front row lockout. Enzo Hallman alongside. Struggles with the pair of them this weekend. Just the one top 10 between them in the hands of Connor Willis in the opening race of the weekend. Emilio Valentino Del Grosso will start from third. Josh McLean will start alongside, yet to get his podium this round, but has had the last 2 reverse grid victories. Torrin Byrne will start from 5th position. Archie Davies alongside Frank Sigelski from 7th, and Connor Grant from 8th after his retirement in the previous, rather, it did not start for Connor Grant. Alex O'Grady, championship leader, will start from 9th position alongside Luke Hilton, who's 2nd in the championship race. 5 consecutive podiums, looking to try and make it 6. Fred Green in 11th position, with Thomas Ingram Hill fresh off of his first victory, will be starting from 12th place. Matan Achitov and Dayton Coulthard at 13th and 14th, with row 8 going the way of John O'Donnell. Alongside is Jordan Martin. No top 10 this round at the moment for Jordan Martin. she's got some pace, so there is some potential on the line. Jamie Leverton moved over at the previous round to Nitrous Competitions ADM Racing. He'll be starting alongside Romy Bouquet in 18th position, the 10th row of the grid, and one of the debutantes of the weekend in William Rohan. Lily Mae Watkins will start from 20th. Dimitri Nolan then alongside Faris Aranji. Of course, Jasser Iskander, the other Saudi Arabian driver, will start behind alongside Michael Coe for the Ardent Motorsports team. 3 rows to deal with left after that. It'll be Holly Mile alongside Selene Amrouche. The penultimate row has Archie Bullard, who retired from the previous race, along with Caitlin McDaniel, who also retired from the previous one. Enzo Brigigiro will be the 29th and last driver on the grid. Now, you know, Piers, I'm going to ask you for a prediction for a race victory and all that. This actually is not an easy one to pick apart, because looking at the grid, Connor Willis hasn't got a podium yet. Looking for his first victory. Enzo Holman had a victory last season, but a struggle for pace this weekend. Del Grosso hasn't got a victory yet, but has shown flashes of that speed. Josh McLean's won the last 2 reverse grid races. I mean, where are we looking? Are we looking further down than that?
You're looking at Torren Byrne as well, 4th place in the... is it this morning or was it yesterday?
This morning.
Yeah, guys, we've had so many races this weekend, Lewis. They're all blurring into one in my mind. I'd say you're looking definitely at the top 5. Archie Davis as well. What a win that would be for Scorpio.
And for Archie Davis, who of course was running pretty well in the race yesterday. In the race this morning, had to start from the back of the field, got up to 22nd place. Unfortunately finished 17th in that opening race of the weekend, but was showing some really good speed. Scorpio do have a good chance of it, but then you really can't count out your Thomas Ingram Hills, your Fred Greens, Alex O'Grady's and Luke Hiltons, who start on rows 5 and 6.
You absolutely cannot count them out, because Silverstone, we've seen before in GB4, produces some pretty epic racing. We'll see 2, 3 abreast, I'm almost certain of it, in this race. Well, the grid order you're looking at now almost certainly won't stay the same. I reckon even by turn 2.
I did have a look at the statistics of the most... this is getting way too far ahead of ourselves, but the most consecutive podiums in GB4, which Cooper Webster, Liam McNeely and Tom Mills all did. It was 7 consecutive podiums in 2023. They all did it at various times throughout that season. Obviously, Luke Hilton, it would be a 6th podium if he was able to do it, but there is still the potential for it, to at least get close to that record.
Yeah, and then Hilton would be putting himself in a great position for the championship if he could get himself into that place, wouldn't he? Because podiums are very high in points scoring, obviously, but when you've got the inconsistencies of the drivers all around, that really helps the situation.
Yeah, and of course the championship leader, consistency is what has been his favoured forte here in GB4, having all of the races this season being finished inside the top 10, all 11 of them. He'd like to continue that streak, but he'll have to move his way a little bit forward. He currently sits right at the back of the top 10 in 9th place, where he's starting this race. So the marshals place all the cars into position. They'll be happy with where they're at. The green flag will wave at the back, and we'll be ready for 20 more minutes of racing as the second half of the season begins here in the GB4 Championship. Connor Willis and Enzo Holman. The front row belongs to Hillspeed. We are racing again at Silverstone. There was a jump start a bit further back from Dimitri Nolan. That one will be registered by Race Control, but it is a good start from Connor Willis from pole position to hang on to the race lead into the opening corner. It is his teammate Enzo Holman who filters in behind as a few drivers escape off the circuit on the exit of Copse. Look at that from Del Grosso, up to 2nd position in the bright yellow elite car as he works his way through, but he's got a problem being pushed off the road there. I think there was one of the pace performance cars that must have been Josh McLean, maybe tapped the rear end, but there was definitely a puncture for Emilio Valentino Del Grosso.
Oh, Del Grosso, disappointment. He pulls off to a safe place. It does well there. We've got side-by-side racing up and down the order. It was an excellent start from Del Grosso, but small amount of contact. Saw the end of his race. There's 2 pace performance cars in 2nd and 3rd. Oh, the Venezuelan, disappointment.
Yeah, the rear right there punctured on his car, but it's out of the way enough for us to continue racing. Luke Hilton there in the 42. He's got 2 Vortex behind him. Shigelski, I think, has dropped back a little bit on the race start. Thomas Ingram Hill also in and involved in all that. Ingram Hill's on the left-hand side through all of that. That's towards the back end of the top 10. The race lead remains then in the hands of Connor Willis. Enzo Holman also up there. And look at all this cluster behind with one of the KMR Sports. You've got a couple of the Nitrous ADM competition cars all fighting back here. It's chaos.
Oh my goodness, our championship leader O'Grady trying to go around the outside over the curbs at Abbey Corner. He would have had his heart in his mouth there, and look who it is, the 42, his championship rival Luke Hilton around the outside of Village is going to give him the inside for the loop, gets that done. Whoa, Hilton from the outside to the inside, and then the inside of Conor Grant as well.
Alex O'Grady wouldn't have been too happy at his compatriot there, Conor Grant, who was forcing him off the circuit. Conor Grant able to hang on to Luke Hilton and could give Alex O'Grady the opportunity to move his way back through. There is Willis, your race leader. McLean is behind. Then it's Torrin Byrne in third position, with those charging behind. Archie Davies up to fourth as we head out onto the start to finish straight to complete another lap. And look at this fight. Conor Grant, Luke Hilton, Alex O'Grady's right into it as well. O'Grady was looking back to the inside as he tries to steal away fifth position. Maybe he might be even moving up into fourth. O'Grady is trying to have a bit of a charge here on a weekend where he's had decent pace but not incredible stuff.
Yeah, the American Willis lead still at the moment. That battle further down the order between Hilton, O'Grady, Ingram Hill, Shagielski and Grant continues to battle on. It'd be good to see where they finished up. It looks like Hilton's got through on Conor Grant.
There was a bit of a moment there through the opening corner from McLean as well, and you are right, Hilton has got himself past O'Grady and past Grant, so runs in fifth position, and his chances of continuing this podium streak are right ahead of him. He's got 17 minutes to close up and pass two of the cars ahead of him if he wants to continue that podium streak, which would be incredible. 6 podiums in a row if he's able to do it. Now Thomas Ingram Hill looks to the outside, the red and white car in the background. Alex O'Grady further behind, that is under a bit of pressure. Shagielski is looking down the inside of him, the charcoal grey and the blue with the white and the red of Shagielski, and the number 11 looks down the inside as they head into Stowe. Side by side ahead of that sees Thomas Ingram Hill gets ahead of Conor Grant as well.
Yeah, O'Grady under pressure. He's going to have to defend as well from Fred Green, but back up the inside goes O'Grady, but inside will turn into outside as we head through club. Fred Green not able to make a move on the inside there as he got fighting further back. That's the 88 there of Jordan Martin. Having a look up the inside, couldn't get that move done on the elite car ahead.
Fight for second here. Torrin Byrne to the outside of his teammate. Torrin Byrne making the move. 18 then up into second position. The 76 of McLean drops back into third. Archie Davies for Scorpio in that silver and blue car is right into the mix as well. Good move though around the outside of Aaron. We've seen some great ones there this weekend.
Yeah, was it Torrin Byrne in one of the previous races?
Torrin Byrne's giving it a good go, yeah, for sure.
Who went on the outside there earlier? It was Micallef. That was GB3 again. All the races we've had this weekend, but we're having many of the moves. Oh, it looks like actually, yes, that's a championship battle. So safety car boards have come out, and it was critical timing there from Fred Green. He got ahead of the number 3 of Alex O'Grady before the safety car boards came out, and that is why.
Yeah, one of the Ardens there, Selena Amarausch, I believe is the one who's been off there. There's a couple of cars down there as well. One of the Nitrous ADM competition cars as well. I think it's Caitlin McDaniel back there, along with potentially Archie Bullard. It might be Enzo Rigigiro.
And William Rohan, that was the number 20. I can see the rear wing of the 22 separated from the car. So that is Will Rojas. I think Selena Amarausch is still in the race.
Yeah, I think you are right.
I think that's our new driver for this weekend, William Rohan, unfortunately ending his third race of his GB3 career in the gravel at Vale. It looks like there was some contact down there that was away from our initial camera angles. If we have something to show you there, we will, but for now we're going to have to say that there's potentially too many drivers all into one place. Yeah, Solon Amrouche is still in the race. That is Solon there at the back of the field.
Just gone through it now. Yes, you're right, Rohan was one of them involved. Jamie Leverton was another one, along with new driver Organji. So two of the two new drivers coming to blows in all of that. Down at the back, that means the race is neutralised and Connor Willis will have to slow things down. I recall, was it Connor Willis? Well, you won't remember this, but I think Connor Willis was one that was on the restart from towards the front back in Donington Park and restart. No, it was Dimitri Nolli, started far too aggressively, far too early. Drivers that aren't used to doing restarts in the front, how hard is it to kind of learn it on the fly?
It is really hard. You need to plan it in advance. A lot of the drivers who are expecting to be towards the front will already in the weekend, when they do their track walk or when they prepare for the weekend, will be saying, like, you know, they'll be saying to themselves, right, where would I want to do my safety car restart? Where would I want to be? Where's going to give me the best opportunity to pull a gap and give myself the least opportunity to be under pressure straight away? Because ultimately, there's very few places in a race where as the leader you can absolutely control what goes on and how the race is going to play out for the next few corners. The safety car restart is one of those. Now the GB4 car is at a sort of a Formula 4 level, so there's not loads of wheel spin you have to contend with. You're more looking to just try and maximise your momentum onto the run and try and catch your rivals out within the rules and to give yourself a bit of a gap. Torrin Byrne's going to be right there. The two cars of pace performance, I reckon second and third, as much as they are driving for themselves, they'll be not trying to trip each other over, because they know they've both got an opportunity to take at least a double podium for pace performance and potentially even a race win between them. So they'll hopefully be trying to push Connor Willis pretty much over the line. A reminder, no overlapping allowed before the line, and that means that your front wing must be completely behind the rearmost structure of the car in front. You can't have any overlapping, you can't go side by side over the line, you must be behind at the line and then make a move from then onwards.
We saw that obviously some drivers in GB3 fall foul of that in the opening race of the weekend. They received 1 second time penalties for doing so as Organti climbs out of the car. It's not, is it Organti? Yes, it is. Organti climbing out of the car there. So the medical team and the marshals are over there with him pretty quickly. He will walk away from a pretty broken car there. A couple of rear wings out there, some front end damage. Definitely a bit of a messy one there towards the back of this field.
Yeah, definitely an opportunity for the teams to fix those between now and the next race. They've got a fair while to do that, haven't they, Lewis? Which means it's not like they're having to rush before the next race. It's the final race of the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we're racing in 2 weeks' time, where you'll be taking us through the action at Snetterton, of course, the birthplace of GB4, of course, the first ever round. You went there for that one, don't worry. It was me freezing in the cold of March back in 2022 to see Nicholas Taylor win and then spin. But that's fine.
How far we've come, Lewis.
Indeed. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. 12 minutes left to go as we sit under the safety car, and obviously there's quite a lot for the marshals to do down there, and I'm sure they will have brought in some of the zoom booms from around the circuit to come and assist and get some of those cars out of the way, because 3 cars down there off, there's quite a lot to get out of the way.
Yeah, the telehandlers will be picking those cars up and moving them out of the gravel beds and moving themselves onwards. All the while the driver's still weaving in the straight down towards Stowe Corner, trying to keep the temperature in the tyres.
Yes, indeed. Obviously, even though we're going to be under safety car probably for a little while longer, it's important to keep that tyre temperature high. We certainly have a lot less to do on the final lap. Obviously, for Connor Willis, he'll get his restart done as soon as he gets that call, but he'll have that in his ear from race control. Where obviously the teams can't communicate to the driver, but race control can, and they'll be informing them when the safety car's coming in and not.
Yeah, that's the difference between GB3 and GB4. GB3, they do have full radio systems where the teams can chat to the drivers can chat to the teams. That is not in place in GB4. However, the race control can talk to the drivers, keep them informed, so that they have the lights and the signal boards around and the flags around the circuit, as well as a direct communication from race control. That's a new addition in the last 18 months of the championship that I think has really taken it a step forward in terms of operation and safety as well. So that's great to have.
It really is. It's an important thing to have for just the safety and the control and helping the drivers and teams actually understand the scenario. The only thing is when we have, which obviously we could do with a little bit more of at the moment here in the UK, wet races. When it comes to those, you as a driver, you kind of have to make it up as you go along in those times, because you don't get any assistance necessarily from the team outside of just before the race, and that's even comes to this scenario. You kind of have to go with what you feel is right and what you've been taught on tyre warming, on when to do something, on how to control a race.
Yeah, it's all about prep. The teams will work with the drivers in pre-season and during season testing, and also at the event testing, and let them know what they, from their experience, what is best in terms of getting the tyres into the temperature window, what the car requires, the brakes as well. You can't just run around without rubbing the brakes, because they will cool down, and when the brakes are cold they don't work at their absolute best as well, and you require that heat radiation from the pads and the discs into the wheel to keep the tyres at the right pressure. But you also don't want to scrub the tyres too much. Like, a lot of drivers will potentially just be leaving that front left alone a little bit, starting it a little bit cooler than the rest of the tyres, because the front left tyre around here at Silverstone Grand Prix circuit takes a beating, Lewis. It really does. There's so many long corners around here where the temperature builds, and if you've got a bit of understeer, that scrubbing on the surface can really build and degrade that tyre, and it will fall away towards the end of the race. We heard from some of the drivers at the end of the GB3 race, and they were saying, look, I had no tyres, left turning right was a difficulty, and then when you get into that position, let's not forget, a lot of the corners around here, clockwise circuit, are right-handers, and then the track limits on the exit of Copse and Stowe and Club and the Village and Luffield as well. If you run too wide on the exit of those corners, you can be looking at potential track limit infringements, and therefore, if you do it too many times, then penalties.
There we go. We can see is a JCB on this occasion, so we're okay. We don't have to call it a Zoom boom or a telehandler. We can call it the official.
Well, it's the brand name, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But it was in fact a real one. But they're rescuing the final car from that trio that went off. Expectation are that we won't be going racing at the end of this lap, potentially the end of the next one.
Do you know what though? It's one thing I remember from my time racing in what is now the GB3 Championship, although the cars were fairly similar actually to what we have in GB4 now back then. The safety car periods were some of the more physical periods of the racing actually, because when you're in full racing flow, you have the straights to just sort of settle down, and the corners it's one turn, you're loading your body in one way, whereas going left, right, brake, accelerate, left, right, it really does put a lot of load through your arms, through your shoulders. You genuinely feel out of breath, and you don't have the air rushing over you as well at a high speed to keep you cool. So this is actually at the point where the drivers who have done a bit more preparation in terms of fitness, who are a bit more naturally fit and strong, or have done more work in preparation, can actually have a bit of an advantage, because some drivers will be getting tired and having to take little breaks, whereas drivers who potentially can continue to warm the tyres and brakes to the maximum effect will have a slight advantage as we go racing once again. Less so because the track and air temperatures are higher this weekend than maybe we have at the start and end of the season, but it's something to consider.
Definitely. The safety car then, as you saw confirmed on your screen, will be in at the end of this lap. 7 minutes left to go. When we get back round to the line, it will most likely be 3 laps left in this race. That's 3 laps for Luke Hilton to maybe grab another podium, for Connor Willis to hang on to a well-deserved victory, for Bernal McLean to maybe make this a pace performance 1-2, for O'Grady to maybe even try and move his way a little bit forward so he's not losing that much of his championship lead, which he's kind of relinquished a fair amount so far this weekend.
Yeah, he has, and also he's got Green in front of him, he's got Ingram Hill in front of him, Hilton's in front of him. So yeah, so O'Grady is not an ideal race. It didn't look like O'Grady had the outright pace, did it, in the first section of this race. Very long safety car intervention, so he may well be able to use his racecraft at the end of this one, as we've had confirmation the safety car will be in this lap. Connor Willis actually letting the safety car go a little early. In theory, you shouldn't let it go until the lights have gone out, but I think you'll probably be all right with that one as we head down the Wellington Straight. And this is the point at which Willis can control the pace of the 28 cars behind him.
Yeah, you're not allowed to let it go 5 car lengths before the safety car lights come out. I'm not sure how much weaving you're allowed to do once safety car lights have gone out. Indeed, there was nearly a bit of an incident there between Conor Grant and Francis Jagielski, who nearly got into the back. So as they all find their way single file, and the final little bits of warming is complete, Willis will hold the race field, and he goes on the apex of Brooklands. Willis will send this race back under green as he heads through the final corner. 3 laps left to go for Willis to hang on. Great restart as he pulls that gap out to about 0.4 of a second over Torrin Byrne. McLean is feeling a little bit of pressure from Archie Davies. Archie Davies, though, is under so much pressure from Luke Hilton, who will look to the inside to get 4th. Can't quite do that, had to back out for the Nitrous Competitions ADM car, but he is there and he's ready to fight.
Hilton using his second-year experience on Archie Davies there to get right underneath the rear wing. Hilton looking up the inside. Maggots and Beckett's going to go around the outside. Lewis, we're going to cut back to it as they go side by side. Hilton gets the job done.
Unbelievable. Side by side behind that as well. Fred Green was battling. Alex O'Grady's made up a spot, now lost a spot. Frank Cegelski is also there. Dayton Coulthard is also there. So he's gained 1 on Cegelski but lost 1 on Fred Green. So the 9th position he goes is breaking the slipstream at the front of the field. The American of Willis is just trying to break the toe of Torrin Byrne behind. Defensive move here for the 87 of Davies. Thomas Ingram Hill is there. He's going for the cutback as they head through Stoke towards the Vale chicane and out towards Club and the Hamilton Straight.
Yeah, Davies is the one that's under pressure. He lost the position to Hilton. That will hurt his momentum. As also Dayton Coulthard was side by side through the Vale chicane, as we are further back as well. Keep an eye. Hilton looks like the one on the move.
I say there's a few drivers that are managing to find moves at this point of the race. Connor Grant there in the background is the next one to get his way past Archie Davies. Fred Green is queuing up as well to give it a good go. Alex O'Grady's broken away from those behind and looks to continue his 12-race streak of top 10 finishes. Fred Green looks to the inside of Archie Davies, who he himself was looking to the inside a bit further down. Frank Sigelski here in 12th position with John O'Donnell behind. Bit of a lock up there for the pace performance, the white and green of John O'Donnell.
John O'Donnell having a strong race in this one. He's made a few positions since the start, hasn't he? But a great restart from Connor Willis has given him a breathing room. He's not been under pressure since, although I'd say Torrin Byrne has closed up on this lap. Let's have a look at the sectors, Lewis. Yes, he has a little bit in the second half of this lap, although actually Willis is still matching the pace of Byrne behind. I would keep an eye on Hilton in 4th place. He's the one with the fastest lap. Also, look at this. Fred Green, he's made a position as well. He's passed Davies. He must have got on the entry of Brooklands.
Yeah, bit of progress then being made. 2 laps left to go. Willis leads by half a second. McLean and then Hilton trying to take away the final step on the podium from the driver who's won the last 2 reverse grid races here in the GB4 Championship. The other driver who's won a reverse grid this season is Dayton Coulthard. It was around here at the start of the season. Alex O'Grady now looks to the outside. The number 3, charcoal grey and blue, moves its way past the silver and blue. And O'Grady up now into 8th.
Unfortunately, Davies falling down the order, just doesn't have the pace. As soon as you get momentum backwards, it's so hard to effectively stop the bleeding of positions. As now, look at this, Luke Hilton for a place on the podium once again.
Hilton to the outside, the number 42, the red and blue, 76 on the inside there of Josh McLean. It's a little bit too deep there from Josh McLean, and here comes Luke Hilton back to the outside, doesn't have the drive of the corner. Thomas Ingram Hill in the white and red is also involved. Oh, there's been contact right into the rear end of the Pace Performance car, and Luke Hilton's podium streak will come to a close. The driver second in the championship makes contact with McLean, and Thomas Ingram Hill will head onto the podium.
Heavy contact into Vale. Surely there's going to be damage. Yes, no rear wing on McLean's car. He's going to struggle through here. Is he going to try and keep it on circuit? He's going to struggle to continue on. I think there may well be a mechanical flag there, but a 10-second penalty. Car 6 as well out of position. That is Dimitri Nolan further down the order. This has set off a chain reaction now as everyone's trying to get past McLean.
Yeah, they're all trying to battle their way through a car without a rear wing, and he'll be very aware of that. I'm sure he would have been as soon as he turned into Abbey and the rear end went no thank you on that one. Here we go, another replay, took me through it.
So McLean's defensive, Luke Hilton spies, guys go left, tries to go. I think Hilton was just undecided as to which way he was going to go. He wanted to go one way thinking that McLean was going to go to the outside, and by the time he jinked to the other direction he realised that the braking zone was upon him, and unfortunately I can't see that going in any other direction than Luke Hilton's. Ultimately, as a driver behind, it's your responsibility to make sure you make the overtake safely. And we've got further on. Josh McLean is continuing on with no rear wing, just trying to make it to the end of this race and pick up some points.
Yeah, but then I think because that car's in an unsafe way, race control will not like that too much at all. As much as these cars aren't ridiculously aero dependent, that rear wing is not there for show. It is there because it does a hefty amount of work, especially around a circuit like this. Bit of the rear wing there. Race control probably would have informed the drivers about that.
Maybe Josh is going to pick it up on the next time through.
Nice one. Not sure if there's a quick pit stop that he can do out there somewhere on the circuit, but no, that one will unfortunately remain there. But obviously the drivers will be made aware of that, and there'll be a double waved yellow down into that part of the circuit, and they'll all have to be careful. We're trying to keep this race going all the way to the checkered flag without intervening with a safety car again, because we've got 30 seconds left.
Connor Grant using all the road and a little bit more on the entry, trying to open up the entry of Stowe Corner. We've got double wave yellows for the stricken rear wing of Luke McLean. Does he trot by? No, I think he's going to run it by, and maybe he'll get it after the session. But unfortunate end to the race for both Hilton and McLean. There's not much McLean did wrong there, if I'm completely honest. He chose his line, he went to the inside, and unfortunately just a misjudgment from Hilton meant that their race basically is both over. But that's promoted Thomas Ingram Hill, our race 2 winner, has gone all the way from 12th place. And let's not forget this race, bonus points for every position gained from your grid slot. That's going to be a fair few bonus points in the back pocket of Ingram Hill.
Matan Achitov, bit of a lock up there. He's still got some big moves there coming in. The 17 of John O'Donnell. Archie Davies still struggling for speed behind, was trying to make a move on Matan Achitov but couldn't do it there. We're into the final sector and the final few corners left to deal with as Fred Green was trying to find his way past Connor Grant toward the front of the field. For Connor Willis, he's not taken a podium yet this season in his career in GB4, and that means that he's not taken a victory. That changes now. The reverse grid race here at Silverstone goes the way of Connor Willis and the Hill Speed team. Great drive from the reverse grid pole to take victory from Torrin Byrne and Thomas Ingram Hill from 12th to 3rd. Incredible.
Good fortune for Willis getting pole position, but a good drive to keep the lead and take a victory. What a drive. Torrin Byrne once again impressing for pace performance, and then Ingram Hill, what can you say? A driver that won his first race only this morning goes and backs it up with another podium.
Yeah, indeed. McLean, by the way, did drop right the way down the order. I'm sure if he didn't know about his rear wing missing, he probably would have seen it as he drove past and went, oh, that's my racing number on the rear wing that was just sat there. For Connor Willis, this is a really good performance and a really good drive for him. Didn't really put a foot wrong there. I know it was under safety car for quite a bit, but still played his cards right. And for a driver who was in the top 10 for the first 6 races this season, was in the top 10 of the first race this weekend, finally gets a podium, finally gets a win.
Absolutely brilliant drive. I mean, he did everything he needed to. Got away from the line well, drove well in the first half of the race, managed the safety car restart, didn't make a mistake. Absolutely brilliant. However, I think the drive of that race is Thomas Ingram Hill. He made moves early on, then of course good fortune with the issues of the drivers there. Luke Hilton's stricken car gave him 2 positions. However, he gained positions and he will be the highest scorer in this race, going from 12th to 3rd place, gives him the points of 15 for 3rd place, plus those extra 8 points gives us 22, so outscores our race winner. That shows how important it is to try and make moves in this partially reverse grid race 3.
Yeah, and he'll be bitterly disappointed with how the weekend started with that. Effectively with a no score, it was 27th place for him, but to have bounced back, to have got another podium. He came into this weekend with no podiums to his name and has gone from 12th onto the podium. That shows the confidence that's changed from grabbing a race victory.
Yeah, and also I think it's going to sort of bump him up the order. I haven't done the full mental mass of all the drivers because it's fairly close in the middle of that group. Don't worry, Liz, you don't need to rush and do it. Of course, all of this will be revealed post-event on the GB4.net website and also the GB4 socials. Keep an eye on that. Richard Randall, Series PR and Press Officer, will keep everything updated as soon as it's all official so that you know what's going on with the championship, because it's shaping up beautifully.
I mean, we will have provisional standings after we've done the highlights after the top 3 interviews. So if you don't want to wait all the way until the GB4.net website, you can always just stay on the broadcast, Piers.
Is that your spreadsheet of wonderment?
It is the spreadsheet of doom that powers things like that, yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes, Lewis, and keeping us up to date with everything that goes on. But ultimately, not much hard work for you to figure out who's won that one, because Connor Willis, he got in front and stayed there. He did everything right. I mean, that'll mean a lot to you. You can see him punching the air as he's coming into the pits, and I'm sure there's going to be a big outpouring of emotion for all the work that he's done behind the scenes, coming over from America, changing where he's basically situated himself, pursuing a career as a young driver, and it's moments like this that really make it pay off.
Yeah, obviously, his dad's a big character as well in the paddock as we race here in GB4. Huge support for Connor Willis. I'm sure there's quite a lot of you that have tuned in from the US to watch Connor Willis here, and well rewarded with a superb victory and top honours. Big trophy will go his way.
Richard Ollerenshaw congratulating him, team boss and owner of Hill Speed. Big hug there. I know that they've got a good relationship. They built that throughout this season. And there's our man, 2nd place, Torrin Byrne. Impressive this weekend, I must say. Really, really strong. So close to a podium earlier on. Couldn't quite do it, but then in this one, got it done.
He's had flashes of some really good speed, has Torrin Byrne this season, and sometimes it's not quite gone his way. I remember even when we came racing here for the first time, he finished in the top 10 in 2 of the races and then retired from the other one, then continued that top 10 streak though into Alton Park, 5th, 7th and 8th, took his first podium at Donington Park in one of those chaotic races, but this weekend has looked plenty pacey. Retired from the opening race down in the Vale chicane, but pieced together to 4th place. You were quite right that he just missed out on the podium, unfortunately, in the race earlier. Thomas Ingram Hill Turnaround weekend though for the young man. He came into this race sitting in 6th in the championship. He'll definitely move up to 5th. He won't move any higher than that, but still will be right into it. Let's go and catch up though with the top 3. Chris McCarthy is standing by.
Connor Willis, congratulations, your first podium in the GB4 Championship, and you've gone straight to the top step. Tell us how it feels.
I don't know where to start. I'm really just out of words. We've been working so hard this weekend, and the boys have just been incredible. We've been struggling this weekend, and so to end the weekend on just a win, it just means so much. And we're working so hard, and so just finally that work to pay off. We've been in the fight every round, but we haven't got the podium yet. But now we stand on the top step, so I can't be happier.
What do you think made the difference to get you over the line?
Just mindset, performance under pressure. We knew we were starting on pole, and this was my first time in the front row, and we just prepared well going into it, and we've been working so hard. It was bound to come soon. So yeah, we're just so happy. Thanks to all my partners, all of the team. We've just been working so hard.
Yeah, anyone else you'd like to thank for this one?
Big thanks to Failing Security. They've been supporting me since I grew up in racing, and big shout out to the charities on board this weekend, Feed My Starving Children, Purple Sectors, and big shout out to them. But I mean, to my parents, it's so many people. We have so many people who just deserve this win, not just me. So just shout out to all of them. Yeah.
Does it feel like a real breakthrough for you now?
It does. I'm so glad, it happened, and we knew it was bound to come. We were fighting for podiums every round. We just haven't been able to make it happen. So finally to bring it to fruition today, it's a dream. It's really a dream. Yeah.
I think I'm stopping you from celebrating with a lot of people behind. Connor Willis, huge congratulations. Well done.
Thank you very much.
What a drive. Let's talk to Thomas Ingram Hill next on the podium once again this weekend. It's been a good weekend for you.
Yeah, it's been mega. First pole, obviously a bit sad about the Saturday race, but what can I say, today definitely made up for it.
It was a pretty intense race as well, wasn't it? Behind lots of battling going on and not a lot of time to make position.
Yeah, it was crazy. A lot of outside moves and stuff, and I just can't believe, I think I wanted to play it safe. Obviously I'm trying to come back into this championship, and that's what I had to do.
You had the win, and you said earlier that felt like a bit of a breakthrough for you, and now you've gone out and come from the 6th row to P3. That must feel just as good in a way.
Yeah, it feels mega. I joked with my mechanics and engineers, once we convert P12 to a podium, we were all laughing it off, and I just can't believe it.
The next round can't come soon enough.
Yeah, I know. I just can't thank Fortec, Dan Wells, and my whole family and my caps for everything they've done.
Superb drive. Well done, Tom Ingram Hill. We'll let you go and celebrate. Let's get Torrin Byrne in now. That was quite a race out there, wasn't it? From 5th place, getting on the podium yourself as well. You must be really happy.
Yeah, I'm happy with the result. Unfortunately, couldn't quite get to the front after the safety car, but no, it's definitely from 5th to 2nd as I'm happy with, and to compare it with the 4th from earlier, it's a solid day today.
Not an easy race, was it, with the safety cars as well? How much harder does that make it to go and chase a win?
I had to get the best restart I could. It wasn't anything amazing, but no, it just stalls the race a little bit, and I felt like I needed the full race distance, but no, it's what it is.
It's your 2nd podium in as many rounds as well. The win coming next?
I really hope so. It must be on the list.
Good stuff. Congratulations. It's been a really superb weekend for you. We'll let you go and celebrate because I'm sure you've got a lot of that to do. Wow, what a race once again, and what a story out front. Connor Willis taking his very first win in the GB4 Championship. Let's look back at the highlights with Lewis.
Highlights from round 12 of the GB4 Championship, partnered by the BRDC, as they'd work their way down towards the opening corner. Connor Willis would be the race leader. He'd be able to hold off from his teammate Enzo Holman. And it wasn't long before there was some drama. Del Grosso off the road after contact between himself and Enzo Holman. The pair of them dropping right the way down the order. An instant retirement for Emilio Valentino Del Grosso. There was also this large crash that involved a few of the drivers further down the field. And unfortunately for our brand new driver for this round, Organji was out of the race along with a couple of others that were involved in a 3-car collision. The safety car came out and neutralised the race, and by the time it came back in, we would have just 3 laps left to go, with Connor Willis restarting perfectly. Luke Hilton had worked his way up the order towards podium contention, eyeing up a 6th consecutive podium in the GB4 Championship. He'd have to get past Archie Davies and he would have to get past McLean. But there was this mistake for him into the back of McLean, ripping off his rear wing for McLean, and unfortunately retiring out of the race immediately for Luke Hilton, the driver second in the championship, walking away with no points. For Connor Willis, it was a perfect drive to victory, leading across the likes of Torrin Byrne and Thomas Ingram Hill to go from 12th to 3rd. A fantastic drive from Connor Willis. Obviously, to see the podium there, it's a superb performance, a provisional race results, it must be said. We'll see Connor Willis and Torrin Byrne and Ingram Hill, who we just spoke to then. Connor Grant into 4th position after they did not start earlier. Fred Green in 5th, with Alex O'Grady, Dayton Coulthard, Matan Achetev, John O'Donnell and Archie Davies, the top 10 from the final race of the weekend. We have a little 2-week break and go to Snetterton. Championship standing wise, Alex O'Grady will remain as the championship leader, 245 points, 26 clear of Fred Green. Luke Hilton will be in 3rd position, 40 points now off the championship, just growing a little bit for Alex O'Grady as those two start to pull themselves away. Enzo Hallman, Dayton Coulthard, the top 5. Thomas Ingram Hill very close to the back of Dayton Coulthard, just 4 points off. Torrin Byrne up to 7th, with Josh McLean, that retirement for the race, finishing down in 8th position in the standings at the moment, with Frank Shigelski and Matan Achetev the top 10. So we'll welcome our podium out in just a second's time. They will obviously have to grab themselves Luke Hilton, who should be seen on the podium for the Omologato Once to Watch Award, but I'm not sure if he's been able to get over this end of the circuit to receive that award after his retirement would leave him down at the wing, and it is quite a long walk over from there. Of course, we've got the Sunoco Fastest Driver of the Weekend Award to deal with as well. So, on to the podium, Thomas Ingram Hill for the 2nd time this season, and for the 2nd time this round, and the 2nd time consecutively as well. 1st and a 3rd to end the weekend and to race here on Sunday. 2nd place for Torrin Byrne, obviously his 2nd podium of the season. And on to the podium for the 1st time this season. Struggled a little bit at the previous round of the championship at Donington Park with a 13th and then 2 retirements. It's a victory for Connor Willis and the Hill Speed team, and a great drive indeed from him. He's got some good speed, good top 10 consistency to start the season. Struggled a little bit after that when we went racing at Donington Park. Had 6 consecutive top 10s to open the season. Was right involved in the mid-pack. Seems to have returned to that with an 8th and 11th and a 1st here this round. And we heard how happy and emotional he was post-race there, and no surprises there from him. Got a lot of emotion in him as the American, and a lot of talent as well. The Sunoco Fastest Driver of the Weekend Award then goes the way of Thomas Ingram Hill as he set the fastest lap across all the race sessions this weekend. Very well deserved for Thomas Ingram Hill. He's having a really turnaround weekend here after the struggles for himself at Donington Park as well, and even to open this weekend. There's a lot of points left to score. I know Ingram Hill might be sat there thinking what could have been after the opening race of the weekend where he finished in 27th. And as it is the last race of the weekend before we go racing in 2 weeks' time, we can get the bubbles sprayed around. Of course, you can get the suits dry cleaned before we're racing at Snetterton in 2 weeks' time, as GB4 returns to where the championship begun, of course. We raced there twice in 2022, and we've raced there every year since. A great track for the GB4 Championship, and it always comes with a little bit of championship drama, and I'm sure Alex O'Grady will be well aware of that, as will Fred Green, and those also involved towards the top. We'll head down, though, to Piers prior for some post-race analysis.
Down here, getting some reaction from some of the drivers who were right in the thick of the action there. Matan Achetev. Matan, that looked like you were very much in the midfield, dicing with lots of drivers. How was that race from your perspective?
Yeah, interesting race. Didn't get a good launch off the line, but turn 1 wasn't bad. Carnage everywhere, trying to get through, and it was really, really hard. Wherever you go, you try to go down the inside, let's say a Vale, you get pushed back from someone, you get touched from the left, touched from the right, you try and make a move and then someone goes straight and crashes. It was carnage all the way around.
Crazy race. There was a lot going on there with 29 cars on the grid. That often happens, but it looked like in this weekend, if you made a move and it wasn't successful, then you're on the back foot and people were trying to come through.
Yeah, I think I tried to make a move into Vale, got past, and then I was on the back foot by into F1 T1 and then into shit 1 and shit 2, got almost passed by 2 and 3 cars. So the second you make a move and you go offline this weekend, we came this weekend and the track was a lot dirtier than round 1 here. And the second you go offline, it's just no grip for half a lap and for that corner itself.
Anyway, let's look ahead to the rest of the season now. What are your hopes for the remaining rounds?
Yeah, I think we've had, start with this weekend, we've had the pace in practice and came to quali, car flipped on its head without any direction and was really hard to find a lap in quali. Didn't complete any good laps and started P13, disappointing place to start 12th as our first pole. So just, I think we have the pace, especially at Snet. Last test there we were top 5, so just need to get a good quali, and I know the race pace is good, so just get better qualifyings.
Well, I look forward to seeing you do that. Exactly. Matan, thank you so much for chatting to us. I know you've got a flight to catch, so off you go and don't miss that on our behalf. And we're going to grab a word with John O'Donnell for Pace Performance. John, I already chatted to you this weekend.
Yes.
However, I thought I'd get you back because that was a really good race. I feel like you made a lot of positions in that one, both through good positioning and also a bit of luck as well. But how was it?
I'm going to be honest with you. I did not hear the last half of the of what you said.
It's okay, make the best of it. You had a good race.
Yeah, I think obviously there were some things that I could have capitalized on a little bit better, and I kind of made a little bit of a better decision in a couple of moves that I attempted to. But other than that, I think we overall I think we had good pace this weekend. I think the whole team had good pace this weekend, and we were working really hard to get where we're at as a whole team.
Absolutely, but I feel like you've made steps forward this weekend as well. I feel like when I'm watching you drive, you're more confident than ever. You're making moves. That last race, we saw a couple of really good moves in when there was driver's nose to tail. You were diving up the inside. You said you made a couple of poor decisions, but there were some good decisions in there as well, right?
Yes, I think this whole weekend was more about a whole learning experience as a whole, because this is my first time being in that type of pack. So a little bit of trial and error and a little bit of quick learning and quick decisions, I think, will benefit me in the future.
Absolutely, and you mentioned the pace has been strong. Well, Pace Performance are doing a very strong job. Your teammates are right up there, Torren Byrne right at the front of this field as well. So that must be encouraging as a team that you're all moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I think it helps that we're all moving forward as a team in little increment steps. I think it's putting confidence in the other drivers and in the team as a whole. So if we can keep that momentum, I really think that all three of us can be fighting for wins and podiums this year.
Well, I look forward to seeing Pace Performance. The green car somewhere near the front. I'll let you go and cool off after the final race of the weekend. Thanks so much, John. And we'll see you later. See you at the next event. And then our final driver we're going to chat to now, Franek Cegielski. Franek, also another driver that was right in the fight there. That was a busy race where you were.
Yeah, it was a lot of close racing, almost contacts everywhere. So yeah, it was not an easy one.
Not an easy one indeed, but sum up your weekend.
So race 1, I did P7, I think good result. Every time always squeeze the most out of it. And second race P6, could have done more. And now definitely the hardest one. Finished, I don't know, out of top 10. Just a lot of mistakes. Safety car didn't help at all because of my not good start. And yeah, we need to work on some things.
It must be encouraging to have 2 top 10s in the first 2 races.
Yeah, it helps with the confidence. Yeah.
Look forward to the remainder of the season. Franek Cegielski, thank you so much. That's that for our drivers. A lot of the other drivers are already getting themselves called off and looking ahead to the next events. Chris, wow, what a final race of the weekend.
Yeah, it was eventful, wasn't it? I mean, we had, of course, 2 long safety car periods, and then that erased the lead that Connor Willis had. But I think he made a very good restart there at the end to hold on to it.
Oh, Connor Willis didn't put a foot wrong. He, as I said on the commentary with Lewis, he was somewhat fortunate to get the partial reverse grid pole, but he turned fortune and then drove well to turn that fortune into a good drive, which then deserved that win. But also one of the main talking points, I mean, the Hilton and McLean crash, of course, just walked past. We spoke to Roman Belinsky, who's coaching Hilton, and he said, not an ideal situation there. We needed a clean race, really, when our other championship rivals were not in scoring positions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you called it just right that something could possibly come of that. I think trying a switchback move down the hill, and just a misjudgment, I think, in the end.
Absolutely misjudgment, easily done. I mean, let's not forget these drivers are driving absolutely flat out. They're doing over 100 miles an hour at that point, where a split second takes you a very long distance. So as much as Hilton will be, kicking himself, it'll be something that he learns from. And unfortunately, McLean was the innocent party in that one, from my perspective at least.
Completely agree. And Tom Ingram Hill, what a drive from him as well. What a weekend from him. And he's really turned his championship around in a way, over the course of this weekend. He's just fired himself up the order, and you could tell he had a lot more confidence in that race than he has done in previous races. I think the win made all the difference.
I think you're completely right. He's turned his championship absolutely around, and we could have been looking at 3 podiums, potentially 2 wins and a podium from Tom Ingram Hill, had this man or this car not accidentally made contact with him in race 1, the orange elite car of Fred Green. We saw them race 1. Again, Tom Ingram Hill didn't do a huge amount wrong there, just unfortunate mistake from Fred Green meant that he didn't finish in the points in that race. That would have been almost a guaranteed top 2. He then won race 2, got on the podium, triple podium. We know that drivers like Luke Hilton, when you string podiums together, you put yourself in a good chance of the championship. But when it's so competitive, there's so many drivers so close, it shows how hard it is to stay consistent when everyone else is operating at such a high level around you, with Hilton having mistakes and Ingram Hill not being able to convert into 3 podiums.
And I think this weekend has almost confirmed that there is no real runaway leader, is there, in GB4? And I don't know if there will be. It's a very wide open championship, isn't it?
Oh yeah, just really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this second half of the season unfolds, because there's absolutely no way you can call it at this stage.
It really isn't. And coming up for them next, Snetterton in a couple of weeks, completely different challenge.
Oh, Snetterton is a completely different circuit to here. We've got a lot of slow speed corners, narrow circuit, a lot more curb usage, a very different challenge for the teams and the drivers, and one that could shake the order up a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be a real challenge for them here. You can see what we have coming up next. GB4 will head to Snetterton. Myself and Piers will be there for that one. It's going to be into the second half of the championship now, round 13, round 14 and round 15 as well. So for drivers who maybe didn't have the best weekend, Piers, they've got a chance to turn it around in just a couple of weeks' time. It's not going into a long summer break.
Yeah, it's... For drivers who've had a good weekend, they're thinking, oh nice, this is good, I can use this momentum. Drivers who've had a bad weekend, gets it out of the back of your mind quickly. So Snetterton, come around quick. And I'm looking forward to being there with yourself as well, Chris.
Yeah, we can't really escape each other at the moment.
No, we cannot. We've given each other the same cold. If our voices are a bit hoarse, and that is why.
I don't know who got it. I don't know who got it first. Well, that's it. It's been really great here at GB4. We've got the podium coming up for you shortly now, where Connor Willis, I'm sure, going to be very emotional. He was really emotional getting out of the car. Let's hear now into the podium. We've done the podium already. There you go. I can tell you, I can now figure that out, because Connor Willis, if you turn the camera, is right there.
He was
covered in champagne as well. So let's reflect once more on Connor Willis and what he's done this weekend. It's been absolutely brilliant, hasn't it?
Yeah, end of the weekend, a driver that's worked so hard. He works a lot behind the scenes to go racing, comes racing with a really good attitude, and you know what, it pays off when you have results like that.
Could be one to watch in Snetterton in just a couple of weeks' time. Make sure you join us there as the GB4 Championship now really getting into the business end. Myself and Piers will be there from us two, and Lewis McGlade up in Coventry. It's goodbye.